Stop running from the work, brothers. I'm going to say it again, man. Stop running from the work.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So this depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
I found that that's going to be man's, that's going to answer about 7 to 8 out of 10. At least 80% of the time, man, that's going to be the answer to man's question. To stop running from the work. And what I mean by that is, like the easy part, brothers, is coming up with the idea. Going inside, coming up with the idea, putting a plan in place. Going out and getting the quotes, looking at the buildings, getting the prices on equipment, talking to the right personnel, watching the YouTube videos to get the information you need. That's the easy part. Everybody can do that. Everybody can get to that point and say, you know what? Look at what I've done. Look at what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to build a thing. Anybody can do that. But the men that choose to move as gods, it's a different. Stop running from the work, brothers. It's in the Bible. Faith without works is dead. But it seems like when we're putting our things together, putting things in place, calling our plays, we forget that. We build a thing. We build a world. We build a world from our imagination. And we're scared to walk into it. We're scared to step into it because it requires work, brothers. It requires work. And I'm just taking this information from brothers that I talk to in passing. Maybe brothers that I hit, real quick in the DMs, or brothers that I'm just chopping it with, just casually, chopping. And they're talking about, their roadblocks. It's like those roadblocks, they really don't exist if you put that work in. But I'm telling you, man, very few people are willing to do that. Why is this though, soul? Why do people build a thing but don't want to finish it by putting the work in and seeing it to its completion? I'm gonna say this, man. Some of the time, their motives are wrong. Some of the time, a man can build a thing, can build a business with the wrong motive. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, it's all about how many people support me. It's all about how many subscribers do I have? How many followers do I have? How many people are liking the stuff that I'm posting? If you're doing it for that, brothers, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hard to maintain. It's going to be hard to maintain if your motives are wrong. If you're doing things for the approval of man, I'm going to tell you, man, your engine is going to tap out very early in the game. Very early in the game. I was on a gram last week. I guess it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm scrolling through and I'm like, God damn it, overnight, it seemed like they were just rationing out blue checks. It's like everybody want a blue check now that they're giving them away for $5.99 a month or whatever. And I have no opinion on that, but it's like everybody wants to put themselves in position to appear to be a thing instead of just putting the work in, doing it, and being it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are hitting roadblocks in their life. A lot of people can't move that mountain or climb that hill because their motives are wrong. And if your motives are wrong, brothers, I'm telling you, you can't put that work in. Not consistently. You'll burn out. I've had projects, man, that I thought I loved, that I was trying to see to the end, but it really wasn't something I was really, passionate about, or really wasn't connected to my purpose, or really wasn't something that I wanted to leave, to be a part of my legacy when I'm gone. And brother, I could work on it for a minute, but after a while, brother, I would burn out. Man. So make sure your motives are right, man. Make sure your motives are right, man, because if your motives aren't right, it's hard to put that work in, brothers. It's hard to sit there at that desk until you're sleepy. It's hard to get up before the sun comes up and get on that, because that's what it takes. That's what it takes. I can tell this, man. a lot of brothers, I can say this, a lot of men have too much time on their hands. You can't put the work in because you have too much time. But if you have time to be scrolling on the ground for hours on the day, and statistics show that most people scroll on social media for several hours a day, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. If you have time for all that, if you have time to be cupcaking with 5 or 6 different women, I still don't see how men have the ability to run women and be on point. I mean, maybe you can get to the point where your cup is running over to the point where you can entertain all these women. Hell, I don't see how a man can barely have time to entertain one. If you have time to entertain more than one woman and you want where you want to be, brother, you moving wrong. You need to take some of the energy back, man, and put more work in. Because that's going to answer most of your problems. That's going to do it, man. Putting that work in. Putting that work in, man. But a lot of brothers, man, just have too much time on their hands. Too much time. If you have time to be going out all the time, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, talking to women on the phone, FaceTiming every night. You know, if you have that kind of time, brothers, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, you running uphill when you don't have to be, man. Pull some of that energy back. Another reason, man, why people run from that work is that they fail to establish a hierarchy. They fail to establish a hierarchy. In other words, when I talk about hierarchy, meaning God, purpose, man, family, they don't have a hierarchy. So everything gets priority as soon as it pops up. Everything gets priority as soon as it pops up. So you can't put the you can't put the work in, because as soon as this phone goes off, you done. As soon as that email comes through, you done. As soon as your partner calls you, say, man, let's go get drinks tonight. I know you're working. I know you got something going on. You done. As soon as that sisters come through and say, you know what, I'm in town this weekend, big head. Like pull up on me. Let's hang out. You done, man. You don't have a hierarchy, bro. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this. I always say a man must know who he is. He must know where he's going. If you don't have that, if that hierarchy isn't just brother, you're gonna be spending your whole life swimming in circles, man. You can't put the work in without a hierarchy, because your energy is so divided. Your energy is in a state of chaos. Gotta be here. Can't tell nobody no. I'm gonna tell you this. This phone, man, it's been a couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks since my phone has been on during the day. I don't have time. I was talking to my brother yesterday. Texting my brother yesterday, man, and we were just talking about 5 minutes back and forth, man, about something we working on for here in a few weeks. And I said, man, what's going on? I said, what's been going on? He's like, bro, I ain't got time enough but for work and sleep. Like, I can try to squeeze eating in there. I say, bro, you plugged in. It's not that the time doesn't exist. We all have the same time as the common man. But once your priorities shift, man, you're trying to fit those golden things in. You're trying to fit those things that are of importance now in the same 24-hour window. And once a man is moving right, there's so much stuff he can cram in that 24-hour space. But there's very little time to entertain the BS, man. It's very little time to entertain the strange women. There's very little time to entertain brothers that aren't moving just like you. You're running from the work. You're running from the work, brothers. And I'll say this. I'll say that a lot of people are running from this work because they're scared of missing out. I'll say that's the third point. Men are scared of missing out. In other words, you're scared that if you aren't outside, that the world is just gonna pass you by. That the world is gonna pass you by, brothers. There is nothing taking place of importance if you aren't there. Let me say that again. Anything that's happening outside of your own bubble, outside of your own world, is irrelevant. Let me say it like that. It's irrelevant. You ain't missing nothing. If you were to fall asleep for 50 years and wake up, you would still miss nothing. People gonna still be at the same juke joints, drinking the same malt liquor. Same women gonna be twerking. You see the documentary coming up about Freaknik. Freaknik from 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that don't know what Freaknik is, used to be popping back in the days. If you missed it, don't know nothing about it, you've missed nothing. Because you can go outside right now. You can go to the park on Sundays right now and see the exact same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, man. A lot of reasons why you can't put that work in because you think you're gonna miss something. You think if you don't go to the day party, you're gonna miss the opportunity of meeting the one. You think if you don't go to the club, you might miss the opportunity of meeting the one. I'm gonna tell you, brothers, the world stands still when you stand still. When a man says, you know what, okay, let me put all the BS to a halt. Let me just hone in for this 24-hour period, for this week, for this month, for this whole calendar year. Let me just hone in and block the world out. Don't you understand that the world is doing nothing? It's like a computer. It's like a computer. You can have all these screens, you can have all these windows up, and you can go to a window and it can have all these animations dancing around. But when you go to a different window, those little characters aren't dancing no more. That screen is stagnant. It's doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? You may think it's doing something. That's how it is outside. That's how it is outside. Any party that you miss is dead. It's dead strictly because you aren't there. That needs to be your mindset. If there's an event that takes place in Dallas, Texas, and I'm not there, it's dead. It's dead. I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss no concert, no day party, no nothing. Because it's all here. It's all inside of me. It's my world. Creating my own illusion within the illusion. But I'm gonna say this, man. To get to this goal you're trying to get to, man, it's not that you can't do it. It's not that there is somebody on this planet that has greater power than you. It's that the people are willing to put more work in. It's not even about talent as much. It's not even about talent. Some of you are watching YouTube channels and you're sitting there saying, you know what, man, like, I could do better than that. Some of you are listening to rappers saying, or singers, or producers or DJs, and you're sitting back saying, you know what, like I can do way better than that, and you're critiquing everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can all these career paths. You can sit back and point the finger at everybody on the gram that's doing something. You know, and I'm talking about the people on the gram. You see some people on the gram, man, they got, you know, all these followers. They're following all these people. Then they may have like 2 posts. It's like, oh, you're just an observer. You're not here to share your skill, your knowledge, your experience. You just want to sit back and observe and critique everybody. You may be better than them people you're watching. But what I'm saying is they're putting in the work. They're putting in the work. All your faith is doing nothing at this point, man. They're putting in the work. I'm telling you, man, work is the elixir. Work is the chef bay of the whole situation, man. If you aren't willing to quarantine yourself, man, in your own quarters and do a job until it's done, then you aren't fit to live in your vision. You aren't fit for it. You're fit to have the life of a common man. I'm going to tell you, bro, like I said, it's going to answer about 70, 80% it's going to be the remedy for those problems, man. Putting the work in. Putting the work in, brothers.